when you mentioned Long Island, you actually mentioned names that I was throwing in my head. I was like, Long Island, okay, Airbnb and Rakim, Public
Mm-hmm.
Enemy, Lisa New School, and then you mentioned
EPMD.
Eleanor West.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, wow, all
Yeah.
right,
I just spoke with Dinko literally yesterday. Literally
oh
yesterday.
wow,
He messaged me to congratulate me. I just won. I didn't win. I just was put out there for 40 over 40 for Podcast Magazine. What do you call it? Which was great. One of the biggest influencers in podcasting. So that was a beautiful thing. And but I just spoke with Dinko. It's we try to chat as often as possible, but schedules are just absolutely ridiculous.
right,
But you keep it real. Dinko, C Brown,
hmm
C Brown and I, we lived literally behind each other. So what do you call it? And him and his sisters were the original Black Doublemint twins, who
hmm
I'm still very close with to this day. So you know what I'm saying? Like, the
wow,
Uniondale family sticks together, and
hmm
a lot of talent came out of that little area.
yeah, hmm
LL's cousin lived right down the block, so I used to see LL all the time.
right,
Across the way from me was my friend Shoba, whose cousin was in Houdini, so he used to be there all the time. I
hmm
used to be at the Friendlies, I used to work at the Friendlies, which was pretty much about the 3-4 blocks from my house.
hmm
And it was an iconic Friendlies. And the reason for that is because every major hip hop star from the East Coast would always be there because it's right in Uniondale, right in between and near Hempstead and Roosevelt and Freeport and so forth. And
right,
everybody would congregate over in that one Friendlies. So, for years, people like Salt and Peppa and like I said, LONS, which I knew, and Houdini and LL and what do you call it? EPMD and
hmm
Black Sheep and you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
all these cats used to come in and Public Enemy all the time.
hmm
And it's funny because about oh Lord, maybe about 6 years ago, 7 years ago at this point, I was in LA signing for Kamikaze, which was when Stan was alive, Stan Lee.
hmm
It was the show that Stan was a part of. And Stan was a good friend of mine, and Stan would call me up every year. So Brimstone, do you think you could come out and do something for for the Kamikaze and hang out with old Stan? Yeah, of course, whatever you need, Stan. So what do you call it? So I'd go out and I'd sign out there. And I wound up going with, don't mind me, I just got to fix my ears here. What do you call it? I went out after the event with my buddy DMC, from Run DMC,
right,
and a couple other people, and we went out to hang out backstage at Black Eyed Peas because they
hmm
were in town. And Taboo is fantastic, and
hmm
Taboo and D and I were all sitting around, and everybody was like hanging out, and what do you call it? As we're sitting and having the conversation, what do you call it? Which again, being a fly on the wall of that kind of a conversation is just insane. But what do you call it? While that was going on, apparently Flav was there and he was walking
hmm
off stage. Now I haven't seen Flav since I was little, but I kind of have the same face. And
hmm
he gets off and he looks at me, and he's like, and I was like, yeah, you know me. I was like, and he's looking at me, he goes, why? I know you, and I know the face. And I'm like, Uniondale, New York, Friendlies on Jerusalem Avenue. He goes, oh my God. And a huge hug and pounds and what do you call it? We caught up and he's like, I heard you wound up wrestling and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I'm like,
hmm
yeah, that's me, man. So what do you call it? We reconnected then, which was awesome. And he's in and out. Again, we all have such crazy varying schedules that,
right.
don't necessarily get to see people all the time,
hmm
but they're always up here and in here. So, but it was great to reconnect.